this video we will do a quick introduction to polynomials, how to add, subtract them, that is how to do the algebra with the polynomials, as well as something called a greatest common factor, which is going to help us learn how to factor these polynomials. Okay. So to start off, polynomial literally means many terms. So it's an algebraic expression consisting of different terms, or what we also refer to as variables, because we can also think of them as functions. So for example, x plus x squared, x plus y, x plus y plus c, etc. Now in here there is a concept of like terms. So for example, x, 2x, 3 half x, negative half x, etc. are like terms. Similarly, things like xy, 3xy, or x squared, negative 2x squared, these are called like terms. Whereas terms such as x and x squared, or xy and c, or x cubed and x squared, these are unlike terms. Okay? What that means is these are intrinsically different things. X and x squared are not the same thing. X and 2x are not the same thing for sure, but they are similar in the sense that they are both characterized by x terms. Yeah, it just says there's one x and this says there are two x's. So where this like and unlike term comes into play is when we try to combine two polynomials by addition or subtraction. So the combination rule is that the like terms combine. So meaning when I'm adding these, I'm going to look for the x squared terms. So the x squared and the 3x squared combine to give me 4x squared. And then the 2x and the 2x combine to give me a 4x. And then lastly, the negative 3 and the negative 7 combine to give me negative 10. So that is going to be the result of my addition. So that's what combining like terms mean. Now at the end we have three terms, 4x squared, a 4x, and negative 10, and these cannot be simplified further. So there is no further simplification, and that is because these are not like terms. Yeah, they are all unlike terms, so they cannot be combined. When subtracting polynomials, the only difference is that this negative, the negative sign has to distribute. So you need to make sure that you do that distribution. Yeah. So when you distribute this negative sign, that's going to be 1 minus 2x minus x squared minus 1 minus x squared. And now we can go ahead and combine the like terms. So usually it makes sense to start with the highest power of x. So I have a negative x squared minus x squared, which becomes a negative 2x squared. Next up I have a negative 2x and a negative x, which becomes a negative 3x. And lastly I have a 1 minus 1, which becomes 0. And to write that in a more neat way, it would be negative 2x squared minus 3x. So addition and subtraction work quite similar. Multiplication, in multiplication we follow a distributive law. Distributive law means each term gets multiplied to every other term. So there's going to be 4 resulting terms. Namely, you take 2x and you multiply it by x squared, then you multiply it by negative 1. So this is going to be 2x times x squared plus 2x times negative 1. Then you take the second term and you multiply it by the first and the second. So you get plus 1 times x squared plus 1 times negative 1. Now you perform the products here. So when you perform this product, the exponents add up. So this is going to be 2x cubed minus 2x plus x squared minus 1, and then we arrange it in decreasing powers of x. So 2x cubed plus x squared minus 2x minus 1. So one thing that we used here is that x times x squared is x to the power 1 plus 2, which becomes x cubed. Think of it as numbers, right? So like 2 times 2 squared is actually 2 cubed, which is 8. And that's 2 times 4, which is also 8. Let's do another example. Actually, 2 more examples. So once again, the first term multiplies with the first and the second. So it's 3x times x plus 3x times 2. Then the second term, negative 1, multiplies with the first and the second. So you have plus negative 1 times x plus negative 1 times 2. This is 3x squared plus 6x minus x minus 2. And now these are like terms, so they can be combined, and they give you 5x minus 2. Okay. Now this one is slightly more complicated, but so there are three and 3 terms here, which means that when I am foiling this out, now I'm going to take this, multiply with the first, with the second, and with the third. That gives me x squared times 2x squared plus x squared times negative 2x plus x squared times 1. Then I take the second term and multiply with the first, the second, and the third. So that gives me x times 2x squared plus x times negative 2x plus x times 1. But now I also have a third term. So I take this negative 1 and I multiply it with each of them. So that's negative 1 times 2x squared plus negative 1 times negative 2x plus negative 1 times positive 1. And now I perform all the multiplications. So x squared times x squared would give me x to the power 4. Negative 2x cubed plus x squared plus 2x cubed minus 2x squared plus x minus 2x squared plus 2x because that's a negative 1 times a negative 2x. So negative times negative gives me positive, negative 1. Now let's look for like terms that can be combined. So first of all, negative 2x cubed and 2x cubed cancel out. Then I have an x squared, a negative 2x squared, and a negative 2x squared. And I have an x and a 2x. So let's combine these. There is no other x to the 4 term. Then I have negative 4 and plus 1, so negative 3x squared. And then I have 2x plus 3x is, or 2x plus x is 3x minus 1. So that's what that is going to look like. Okay. So I'm going to end this video here. In the next video, we start talking about sort of the opposite operation. Namely, over here, the operation was to FOIL, right? We had two things multiplied and then we opened up everything. Now, next goal is the opposite operation. Namely, given something like this, how can we get to a multiplication? We'll discuss that in the next video.